So, what is the posterior chain? Basically, it's your butt and your back. Okay, that's what we're talking about right there. Okay, but it's more than just your glutes and back. It's a group of muscles that run down the entire back side of the body, all the way from your head to your heels. So, if I turn around, anything you can see right now is part of my posterior chain. Okay? It is made up of the erecta spinaea, the muscles around your spine, the latimus dorsi, your glutes, your hamstrings, your calf muscles. Those are the major big ones that we see. It also includes muscles in your upper back, like your traps, delts, rotator cuff muscles, okay, as well as the back side of your obliques. Okay, some people don't realize that's there. That's part of to help with the posture and the low back stuff. Okay, they are referred to as a chain of muscles because they form a chain that works together to support almost every movement you make. If we're in an upright position and we're making a movement, the posterior chain is supposed to be making that movement. Okay, that's the key. If they turned off, though, the anterior chain takes over, and that adds extra stress to the joints. Okay, so the posterior chain works synergistically to propel the body forward, perform reactive agility, and initiate throwing, jumping, sprinting, acceleration, deceleration of athletic movements. Okay? If you want to run faster, jump higher, or pivot and rotate more smoothly and without causing injuries, you need to make sure this chain of muscles is activated and developed. Right now, our younger athletes do not have this activated and or developed correctly. Right? So your posterior chain also helps you maintain your balance and your posture, okay? So some of us may need this work too. I know I've been working on my posterior chain because as the AGE disease kicks in, the low back tends to not work as well, and it's more because of how I sit in my society that I do now. Okay? It also helps prevent injuries in movements that require rotation and pulling or pushing. Right? So your posterior chain keeps you healthy. That's what it was designed to do. An activated and strong posterior chain is your stabilizing and coordinating force as well as power source for any movement. Okay? So we've gotten trained, in my opinion, that we think the front side is the strong side of the body. If you look, okay, and we're going to get a little bit more into that, but that's what guys see and they think, and that's what they get tested on a lot in the weight room, and so it's tricking their body to actually do the exact opposite. So basically, your posterior chain is your power train. Everybody understand a power train in the car? It's what takes the horsepower from the engines and takes it to the wheel. Right? It's part of the engines all the way down the drive shaft, transmission, all that. That's your posterior chain. Okay? And that's what, if you can think of it that way. But oftentimes, it's like pitchers are trying to accelerate as fast as possible, but they have a flat tire. Something on the backside of their body, and it's in the backside, that's why I chose that picture. Something in the posterior chain is flat. It's not working right. And so now they can't move as fast. Okay? And it's not just our lifestyle that's creating this weak posterior chain. Oftentimes, it's the training itself. Okay? The overemphasis of training the show muscles, the front side of the bodies, like your pec, abs, biceps, quads. I put a picture of Randy in there for you guys. Okay? The parts we can see in the mirror, okay? And the parts that are needed for some football stuff, certain positions of the football. We've got our weight training that got really, really dominated back from the 80s from football and bodybuilding. Right? Which is pushing exercises from the offensive linemen and defensive linemen and show muscles from bodybuilders. Okay, well, that's carried over to every sport, and that's actually the muscles, we care less how strong those are. They make no difference in basically athletic movements, hardly, or minimal difference. But that's the one we see our guys training all the time. The posterior chain is the go muscles, baby. That's what you got to think. They're the ones that make these guys do what they do.